Welcome to Giraffes Don't Eat Steak, the podcast for curious marketers who zig when others zag. Join your hosts, Erica Mackay and Alex Bilney from the Marketing Detective Agency, as we uncover bold marketing moves, challenge the obvious, and dig into what really makes marketing strategy work. If you're tired of rinse and repeat marketing advice, you're in the right place. So grab a coffee, lean in, and let's get curious. And hey, if you like what you hear, follow the show, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves smart marketing as much as you do. Let's get started. Hello, Carmen.
Hello, Erica.
How lovely to meet you.
No, I'm really excited to have a chat. You've got such creative names, so I thought you must be an awesome person.
Oh, tell me more. Creative names?
Oh, so I remember looking at I forgot the names now, but you're a detective marketer, and what
Yeah.
was your website called again?
Oh, the Marketing Detective Agency.
Yes, I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. I do love that. And then, of course, you're on Giraffes Don't Eat Steak, which is our
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, thank you for reaching out for my audience. Carmen reached out to me on LinkedIn, having listened to a few of our podcast episodes, and said she's got some value to share, which I'm super excited about. So,
Mm.
welcome, Carmen. So, but you, I was going to say good morning, and of course, it's not morning for you. Tell us where you're based, Carmen.
So I'm in Melbourne, Australia. So it's late afternoon here, and Erica, being a morning bird, has volunteered to get up early to record this podcast.
Yes. Well, I am up early anyway, so that's all good. Now, I didn't tell you this, but I actually have family in Melbourne. Isn't that weird?
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yes. I've been there when I was 9. I sang at my aunt's
Yeah.
wedding.
Wow, very cool.
Do not ask me to sing anymore. I don't understand how that happened, but that was my claim to fame. And my aunt, to this day, whenever she sees me, she goes, "Sing my song for me, Erica." And I'm like, "No."
I'm on strike.
So, Carmen, tell us about your business and what you do.
Yeah. So, Erica, I started this business by accident. So,
Okay.
about 7 years ago, I decided to walk into my perfectly good job in strategic planning and in healthcare and decided to quit the same day. Like, I was walking out at lunchtime that day and everyone was like, I didn't know you were leaving, Carmen. I'm like, neither did I. It was just like this spur of the moment thing. And then I started a business and I knew nothing about business. I know like you're a marketing guru, Erica. I didn't even know the difference between sales and marketing. Like I knew zero. And so I quickly had to learn. And I learned about marketing. Apparently, clients don't just come to you. You need to let them know that you exist. And I decided LinkedIn marketing was going to be my place. And so I learned that I could get amazing virtual assistants to help me with the doing around the LinkedIn marketing so then I could free myself up to have more conversations. And so I got my first virtual assistant, Noe. She's amazing. And then I got more virtual team members because it becomes addictive, I must tell you, good support. And then people started saying, "Hey, Carmen, could you help us?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't do that. Nah." And they're like, "No, no, but I've tried it before, Carmen. It didn't work for me. Could you help us?" And so then we made the decision to help other people using our values of like communication and relationships and supporting them to work together in the long term. So we've now got a team of over 100 people.
Wow. So, how do you help people? Answer that.
Yeah.
How do you help people?
Yeah, so obviously, people who are looking to get a virtual assistant, that there are
Okay.
options. You can hire yourself, or you can get support. And so the people who are looking for support and support from, um, around how to communicate, how to delegate, how to get the stuff out of your head, how to, do your LinkedIn marketing and support for their virtual assistant around how to say, Carmen, I thought you made sense this morning, but I realize I've got no idea what you mean. And so, yeah, so we support people to work with amazing remote team members, but we set it all up for long-term success. So it's
Oh,
not
fabulous.
so like some people call it outsourcing, but I don't really think that's the word I like to use. It's like it's getting you an amazing remote team member.
Fantastic. And where are they based?
Yeah, so most of our team are based in the Philippines. That's
Okay.
where I started with my LinkedIn marketing support. But more recently, we've also started hiring people in South Africa as well for different sorts of roles, though. So, like account management, business development, those high level executive assistant roles where they're so organized, they're a little bit scary. And yeah, so the Philippines and South Africa.
Oh, fabulous. That's very
Hmm,
exciting. I actually work with a few clients who do that themselves. They love outsourcing. But the
hmm,
one thing, and I don't know how you resonate, that annoys me, because I'm obviously South
hmm,
African, you can tell from
hmm.
accent, but the one thing that annoys me is when people say cheap labor. Like that word
Yeah.
cheap just
Hmm.
grinds me. It drives me crazy. How do you feel
Yeah.
about that? Are you selling cheap labor?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. I think there's no hiding the fact that one of the benefits of getting someone remotely is that it costs less than hiring within, well, we're in Australia.
Or the
Um,
UK, right?
yeah, or the UK. But more and more, Erica, people aren't coming to me because it's cheap. Business owners are coming to me because they're saying, Carmen, I've tried to hire in Australia or the UK. And I can't find someone, especially in Australia. I can't find someone, or I can't find someone that wants it and sticks, like that they stay in the
Mm,
business. And then they say to me, most of our clients already have team members in Australia, and they're saying my team is stretched thin. Like I'm scared they're going to leave if I don't get them some relief. And so that's why people are coming to us. And the thing is, you can get really cheap um, virtual assistants, but going through us because we add that extra support, we're not actually the cheapest on the market. Like it's gonna cost less in the short term to go directly and hire someone directly. But people come to us because they want that extra support. They want, you know, our lessons of doing it many, many times and working with lots of people. So I share with you the hesitation around like the cheapness.
mm.
Some I usually avoid pricing in my marketing. Sometimes I use the term cost effective.
Yeah. And for me it's about value, right? And maybe because I'm South
Mm,
African, I'm so passionate about this term.
mm,
The quality that you're getting is very high, right? You're
yes.
it's so the word cheap has it's just different connotations for me. It sounds like knockoff Timu,
Mm,
it imports from China. It sounds low quality. And that's
yeah.
not what a virtual assistant is, right? It's not
Yeah.
low quality. You're just taking advantage of an exchange rate that's in your favor.
Yes, and my recruitment team, like we get hundreds and hundreds of applicants a week, and my recruitment team, their job is to find those like one percenters. And so when you're working with us through, getting a team member in the Philippines or South Africa, you're meeting the one percenters.
Yeah.
And you know that South Africans better than me probably, but in South Africa, everyone is so driven because there's just that they got the highest unemployment rate in the world. And
Yeah.
to succeed, you have to really, really push. In Australia, everyone's talking about how our teenagers have this like apathy. Like that's not what like I'm seeing in South Africa. Like you have to push to get ahead. So,
Yeah, you got to work hard. So I mean, it's
mm,
known South Africans are really hard workers. We
yes,
I mean, I'm not being biased. Maybe I am being biased,
I
but
agree, Erica.
we get our heads down and we work. But yeah, so I'm going to encourage anyone who's using this scrap the word cheap has such a
Mm,
bad connotation, and that's not what it is. It's value, right? You're getting
yes,
value.
yes,
Um, so and taking advantage of an exchange rate that's in your favor. That's just
exactly.
what it is.
Yeah, and like all of our team are paid really well, above what they'd, get elsewhere.
Yeah,
And so we're all about giving value on both sides. So giving value
fantastic.
for the virtual team members in the Philippines and South Africa and giving value to the business owners because how we've set up our agreement structure is it's all month to month, but we want to set it up so both sides are getting value and both sides want to stay. So we have
Wow.
just reached like a 6 year milestone in our business. And so now we're having all these people go, oh, I've been with global teams for 6 years, like from the start. And like that's a long time. And yes, that's pretty exciting.
Congratulations. That is very exciting.
Mm,
So the other bugbear I have,
mm.
and perhaps you share this with me, is when people assume a virtual assistant is also a marketing strategist
Yes, yes.
and they hire a virtual assistant and expect them to run the entire marketing show. Do you see that?
So, Erica, I'm allergic to this term. You know how you're allergic to the term cheap in
I
this
am.
context? I'm allergic to I want someone to get me leads.
Okay.
I'm just like, seriously, if I just had this magical unicorn that could just deliver leads on a plate, do you think I'd give them to you? Like, no, I'd keep them for myself. No. So what I explain to business owners is whether you like it or not, either you or a marketing strategist that you hire needs to get their hands in your marketing. You can't just say to a virtual assistant, hey, could you just like do my marketing and just how somehow make it work? Like it just doesn't work like that. Like so many people want to just delegate just too much.
Yeah.
And so I say to business owners, you've got a choice. You will work it out yourself or you work it out with a strategist like Erica. Like they're your choices. You can't just go, let me hire this person and they just have to like get me leads, make me a funnel. Like all these, like, I'm like, oh, you've obviously, read a book or listened to a podcast somewhere and you know all the words, but do you actually
Yeah.
know what that means?
Absolutely. My favorite is watch the Simon Sinek video and find your why. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, now we know where we are. And I think you're so right. A lot of the businesses I work with, I'm kind of like an outsourced strategist. So they have a
Mm,
VA or they have a junior marketer in place, but they still need someone to put the strategy together. And
yeah.
that's stuff I love doing, right? I love doing the strategy. Not such a fan of the doing. I can do it, but much rather someone
Yeah.
else is doing it. But at least that person has structure, has
Yeah.
a sort of a plan for the next 3 months or knows what they need to do. Whereas if you're expecting them to walk in, look at your business and just magically understand the entire marketing funnel, as you say, structure,
Mm,
etc. Oh, and you must be a web designer. Let's update the website. And can you just create
mm,
some graphics as well? And oh, by the way, can you manage my CRM on top of it? And
yeah.
those are all marketing jobs, right? That's
Yes.
that's a complete package. Now, sadly, this is, I think, where it got skewed, is there are these unicorns, right, who can do it all, um, and so everyone will tell you about this one person who could, right? I actually was
Yeah.
talking to a recruiter the other day. They were struggling to fill a job.
Mm,
And it was actually just a maternity leave cover job.
mm,
So they were looking for someone just for a couple of months, 9 months to cover the maternity leave. But obviously they had a unicorn because the list of things they expected this poor person to do for 9 months and the salary combination was very odd.
yeah.
I'm like, wow, don't lose this person. Whoever this incumbent is, make sure they come back after the baby because that is like, that's gold. That
That's
you
crazy. Yeah.
you need
And
three
but
people.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Like you love the strategy. You can do the implementation, but you don't really want to do it, let's face it. And so the thing is, even if you hired a virtual assistant through us from the Philippines or South Africa who could do the strategy, let's say we find someone who can do it, they're not going to want to do the doing. They don't want to update your testimonial on Canva and make it the right colors and post it on your LinkedIn, do they? No. They don't want to send the connection request to all the service managers in the car yards in Australia out on LinkedIn day in and day out.
Yeah,
Like it's a different sort of mindset.
absolutely, absolutely. And there are people who love the doing, and that's fabulous, right? I
Yeah.
work with quite a few of those, and that's brilliant. Very happy to pass work over there. And the people who love the detective work. That's me.
Yeah.
I love the detective work.
Yeah. And so I say to business owners, you need to, especially at the start when your virtual assistant starts, give like small bite-sized chunks. So
Okay.
you see our Google reviews, these are our colors, this is our Canva account. Could you go and put them in a template that looks really beautiful for social media? Like that's a bite-sized chunk that you could give someone on day one. Whereas just the whole big, massive problem of go get me some leads, go work out my LinkedIn marketing strategy, go work out, whatever, like that's too big.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, that's the case of outsourcing or any team member, right?
Mm.
That's any team member. We often just dump and run
Yeah.
and go, right, good
Yes.
luck. Tell me if you're struggling. See you later.
Yeah, yeah. So what we like to do is like support people with what I call like the layering strategy. So on day one, you give one or two bite-sized chunks, and then your
Okay.
team member gets their head around that. And then they can do those one or two bite-sized chunks forever. And then you give them the next one or two bite-sized chunks. So it seems really slow, like depending on the nature of the role and how it's designed, within the first couple of weeks, they might only be doing 10% of the role, but you should still be feeling relief within the first couple of weeks. That's how I like to design it.
And is this full-time roles, part-time? Like what is the structure you recommend?
Yeah, so we've got options. We've got full time and half time, and so some people, some organizations, they offer less than half time, like 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week, and we don't do it because I just find it doesn't work,
Okay.
quite frankly, because the team members are juggling too many clients, and they're interacting with so many clients that the context gets missed. And so that's why the minimum we do is a half time, because it allows the person to understand, how does Carmen do it? How does Erica want it? What does Carmen like, just to start to be able to read my mind? Because like my internal team, most of them have been with us for, 4 to 6 years. And so they know what I'm thinking before I say it often. That's where the value really comes.
Awesome. No, and I agree with that. I think it's difficult if you're bouncing between, especially if you've got very different clients, right? And
Mm,
you need to, I always say the role of a good marketer, and probably a good VA then as well, right?
mm,
Is to become the target audience. And
mm.
so to do that for a different client, you have to stop, switch off now. I'm no
Yeah,
longer um, business owners with SME size businesses, blah, blah. I am now consumer looking for
yeah,
whatever. Like you got to switch your head because your tone of voice, your language, your wording, everything needs to be in that context. And
yes,
if you have the crossover, you're going to get yourself confused. And that's why people with multiple target audiences struggle as well. They can't
yeah,
see that because each audience has a different way of speaking, need, pain point, thought process. So if you're juggling yourself, even like,
yeah.
talking to this one, and then think how confusing your social media looks, right? Because
Mm,
someone cold looking at it goes, "Oh, are you talking to me? Oh, no, you're not. You're talking. Oh, no. Oh, wait, maybe you're me now. What?"
yeah.
So, okay, so I like that. I like that a lot. And how
Yeah,
much,
oh, sorry.
sorry, go for it.
And your team learn how to work with you as an individual as well. So
Mm,
it's not just your target market or but it's like, sometimes my team know how to poke me and remind me of things or to clarify things, and how they work with me might be different to how they work with you. And so like I remember when I was in the workplace, like I'd get to know all the different executives and I would have a different strategy for each one, and so
mm,
it means that it's really optimized. Like, we're in our groove. You go from the storming, norming to performing. So it allows that performing to actually happen if the person is spending a significant time within your business.
no, I absolutely agree with that.
Mm.
So for example, I don't like answering my phone.
Yes.
I don't. I'm on WhatsApp, I'm on email, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm everywhere else. But when my phone rings, I'm like, "Oh, if it's urgent, you'll leave a voicemail and I'll phone you back." So yes, you do need to find the groove with people, right?
Yeah, but so for example, your virtual assistant, instead of calling you, they might say, "Hey, Erica, I just would like to pick your brain for a couple minutes. Could you give me a buzz when you're available?" So you could just like tailor it for, the Erica, way of doing it.
Yeah, that would work for me. That would be
Yeah.
brilliant. I have I had one team member when I was still in corporate that would phone, like literally phone was their thing. And the more I'm like, why don't we just WhatsApp? Like, let's just do a chat. I can answer you in 10 seconds. Even my kids know. WhatsApp, mom,
Yeah.
don't phone her.
Well, it's interesting because we've actually got a rule in our business. We don't have many rules, but we've got a rule called the two message rule.
Okay.
So just say I delegate something to one of my team, and then they go, "Oh, Carmen's not making sense," and they clarify and they write back. And then I write back to them, and then they write back asking me another question. Then one of us will just go, "Hey, should we just jump on a quick call or a Zoom or whatever?" Because we know that if the messaging hasn't worked, like we're obviously, moving, in different pathways, sometimes it can be a 2-minute conversation can actually set us on the right track. And so that's what we call the two message rule.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna steal
Mm,
that. Can I steal it?
you can steal it.
Two
You just
message
need
rule.
placement before the call.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you tell me about it, then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So do you do matching? So when if I came to you and said, right, Carmen, find me a VA, do you do matching to find the right match for me, or how does that work?
Yeah. So my recruitment team, they call themselves matchmakers.
Okay.
And so when someone comes to us and says, "I want a virtual assistant," I actually spend quite a lot of time with them before I'd even brief the recruitment team because I want to know what their desires are for the role. I say, "Give me your hopes and your dreams." And then I say, "I'm going to dash them." No, no, like, and then I'll work out, well, what is possible from that fairy tale list of everything that they'd love. And then we work out like what sort of personality is this person like? What's their communication style? What sort of background might they have? Who would they be interacting with in the team? So we really suss them out. And then I give the briefing to the recruitment team. And the recruitment team now get me to record these discussions with the potential clients so that they can then just go in and just assess the client and, get their vibe, that, intangible stuff that I couldn't share. And so then the recruitment team go find like 2 to 3 candidates that are really awesome. And by the time the client meets them, all the candidates can do the job. That's not the question. The question is, who do you have chemistry with?
Mhm.
And so the recruitment team, you should see the back recruitment team chats like when the interviews are happening. If a client falls in love with more than one person, then the recruitment team are like, "Yeah, we've made it hard for them to choose because they love me." Anyways, we have had people hire multiple people when they've intended to hire one because of that. And so yeah, their aim is to make you fall in love with people, like pretty much, So yeah.
Oh. And how do you find clients? What is your marketing strategy?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. So I started off in business with LinkedIn marketing, and LinkedIn marketing is still one of my main sources of leads. Now, obviously, I've matured as a business, so I now get a lot of referrals as well, which is fantastic. And I find that like LinkedIn marketing accelerates referrals too. So I think
Okay.
my message to all the B2B business owners, I don't know if you'd agree with this, Erica, but if you're B2B and you're going to choose one place to play, it'd be LinkedIn. That's my thing. But we've also diversified. So we've got Facebook ads, and we're calling them as well. We're on all the social media platforms, including we are talking about TikTok before. And my main reason for being on TikTok, Erica, because I just wanted to like not feel too old. I wanted to see how the youngins are doing it these days. And I shared with you that I don't think I've got many leads off TikTok, but I did get an $8,000 speaking gig from there. So that was pretty exciting.
That is
Yeah, so we've diversified, but like LinkedIn, referrals, and Facebook ads, they're our three biggest.
fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm a massive LinkedIn fan. I
Mm,
do do, yeah, 50% of my leads come through LinkedIn. So that's a winner
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, beautiful. And so, obviously you'd get some support in setting up a strategy for LinkedIn. I know you're using it already, but for other people,
Yeah,
you get your strategy, and then your virtual assistant they can send the connection requests, they can format your content, they can edit your videos, they can post it all, they can send messages to all the people you're connected to. Hey, would you like to come to this event? Hey, would you like this downloadable? Flick me your email, because then you get the email address, and then you can add it to your database. But there's certain things that they can't do. So Erica, I messaged you on LinkedIn saying, hey, I'd love to be on your podcast. And I did that myself with a voice message. So my team would have done the connections. They would have said, look, Erica's got a podcast. I would have checked you out. So, worked out if I did want to, hit you up. And then I did the voice message myself. So what I love to do is to work out, what can your virtual assistant do? And what
yeah,
are the small portion of things that you should still be doing yourself?
yeah. And I did. I was intrigued by your voice message. I listened to it. I'm like, oh, that was so nice.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I love having guests on my podcast. So
Yeah,
it worked. Here we are.
yeah, yeah,
So, what three tips would you share with anyone thinking of hiring a virtual assistant or just starting on this journey? What are your three tips,
yeah.
Carmen?
So I think the first thing is to get really clear on the sort of person that you want, but also the sort of person that you need. So so many business owners, we're like, we've got initiative and drive, and we're just like strategic, and we're like, we want someone just like us. And it's like, no, you don't. You probably want the methodical person who's going to do things day in and day out when you're focusing on bright and shiny things. Like, I'm talking from experience, just saying. So you probably need that detail-orientated doer
Yeah.
person in the background. They might be a little bit creative, play on Canva, do that sort of stuff, but that's probably your first hire. Um, so it's about hiring the right person in the first place, and then it's about supporting them once they've started. And so, for example, in the first week, you should talk to them every day. And it's not just to delegate to them, but to form that relationship with them. And for larger businesses listening, it might not be the business owner. It might be someone who is already within your business that the virtual assistant will be reporting to. But whoever it is, you need to identify that person and take this role as leading this person, supporting this person seriously. And then I think the third thing is around how to keep this person engaged and within your business. And
Mm,
so, what does this person really want to do? So I've got team members. So Jing, she started doing LinkedIn messaging for us. And then we got chatting to her. Then we're like, oh, you're an accounting bookkeeping genius. She now manages our entire, finance section of our business. We've got Shah. She also started in marketing within our business as well. And then we realized that she was so good at talking to people and she had this insanely good gut instinct. She now leads our recruitment. And so if you really talk to your team and work out, what do they really want? And then see what's within your realm of being able to deliver, so that the role that because the virtual team members can do anything,
yeah.
but what do they really want to do? And that will help you get them to stick.
Okay. And so, full confession, I had a VA many years ago when I started
Mm.
and I got burned.
Yep.
Um, Not through their fault. The more I'm listening to you, the more I'm thinking, oh,
Mm.
okay, I didn't do that, didn't do that, didn't do that. So I think it was probably a lot to do with me. But the one thing that irked me was a lack of proactivity. And that,
Mm.
so for me, that would be really important. So, for example, if I say, can you send out the newsletter on a Friday? Great. But then when I went to check, there were zero contacts in the newsletter that was sent out. So I'm like, oh, what happened? Yeah, I noticed there was zero, but you told me to send it, so I sent it. And
Mm. Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't you just message me going, Erica, there's a zero, something's wrong here. We should look at it. Like, tell me
Yeah.
something, right? So it's that is something that, for example, would be very important for me. And
Mm.
because, that situation happened, I was like, oh, okay, this is not for me. I don't want to work
Yeah.
with anyone.
Yeah.
Again, how would you handle someone like me?
Yeah. No, so it's a really good question. So my first question to you, if you came to me, would be, what did you learn about yourself? Because you've already alluded to the fact that there was it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
So there was a bit on the virtual assistant side and a bit on your side. And so that's what I look for in someone to go, are they going to take ownership in their role in the outcome? Like, because like I just, even with my team, if something doesn't go well, I go, okay, what could have I done better? Like how could have I placed them? Should have I said it's better like strategy? Like what could have I done better? And so what I like to do is I like to just go, well, what worked and what didn't work in your last experience?
Mm,
And then if I see someone taking some ownership, I go, oh, cool, we've got something to work with here. You don't have to be perfect. I am not perfect. But if you can take ownership, then that's really awesome. And then the whole proactivity thing is a really interesting thing. There's a couple of layers to it. One is our recruitment team know that business owners are looking for this. So everyone gets like sussed out for how proactive are you, tell me a time when, like give me some examples. So everyone is assessed for, do they have it in them?
mm,
Then it's about nurturing that. So when I delegate, so I just had a meeting with one of my longstanding team members and we're changing the systems on something. And I said to him, this is the high level outcome I want. Now let's talk about the detail. And the detail, because I give him the high level outcome, it means that he has more ownership over the detail or can even make more suggestions around the detail. And then the other layer is some of it is cultural. And so what I do is I have what I call a love team. So I've got a love team in the Philippines and a love team in South Africa to explain to our team what these weird Australians want or sometimes the UK want. I've got a team member with experience working in the UK as well. We've got training, the 7 weird things about Australians. And so to explain that Carmen loves ideas and she's not going to think that you're putting your status above hers by suggesting that maybe she doesn't know everything. Like she actually loves it. And so we've got training, we've got mentoring, we've got strategies for the business owner, and also the recruitment team suss out the people who've got it in them. So it is a process. Like I'm hearing you on that frustration. I've experienced some of it too. So in the early days, Jong, he's been with me for now 6 months. He's my right-hand man. He's an absolute legend. But in the early days, he made a mistake and he hid it from me.
mm,
And I said to him, I don't care about the mistake, dude, but you can't hide it from me. This is why. And he said to me, I would have, in my previous job, if I'd made a mistake, I would have been fired.
mm,
And I said, you're not going to be fired for making a mistake with me. You might be fired for making a mistake and hiding it.
yeah.
And so he tells me every mistake he makes now and what he's done to fix it. And he points out my mistakes and he's like an absolute legend and I couldn't live without him. But like in the early days, we had to have some tough discussions.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, it's a bit of an onion, that one, Erica.
No, I can see that. And when I was in corporate, I managed teams, and my nickname was actually Tiger Mom, because my team knew exactly that. They knew
Yeah.
that in our team, whatever mistake we worked through it, and to senior leadership, the brunt was on me. I always took it
Yeah.
because of exactly that. In corporate, it's
Mm.
different, right? You can get fired for a mistake, and there's a whole lot of different pressure. But with my teams, that's how we worked, is the buck stopped with me in the team. We could say whatever we wanted. We
Yeah.
did whatever, and then I would level it up, right? It would be on me. But because of that, they had to be honest with me. They had to
Mm.
talk to me because I had to know what's going on so that I could manage upwards.
Yes.
And that's how I got the nickname Tiger Mom, because it was don't mess with my team, right? Like if you have a problem with my team, you come to me.
Yes.
I sort my team out. You don't have to
Yeah.
get involved with my team. But yeah, I actually, when I left, they made me a t-shirt which says Tiger Mom. I'm going to go find it
Oh,
now because now
that's
I've gone all
cute.
nostalgic. I miss my
Yeah.
team.
So my operations team, like obviously a lot of what we do goes right, but sometimes things don't go to plan. So
Yeah,
maybe we might hire someone, doesn't work out or whatever. And so what we do, like at the start, I'll try and lead these discussions of going, okay, what could we done better? And like everyone was a bit stunted. But now you should see me when I go, okay, cool. This is the situation. This is what happened. Let's explore. I'll own my stuff. I go, oh, maybe I could have scoped it better at the start, or maybe I could have done this. And now my team are like, well, I had this, like I could have done this, or I had this discussion and I, should have escalated this. And then everyone's just like contributing. And so we just have this like analysis of the various things in that people have done that might have resulted in a different outcome for the future,
love
and like
it.
people just share now. And so but it wasn't like that at the start, so it is this culture that we've really nurtured because like I come from risk management, and I know that we need to do that analysis, we need to do that investigation so we can improve the systems going forward, because I don't know what I don't know.
Oh, I love that. And I do think a lot of people who have tried um, getting support from outside of the country,
Mm.
I think they've forgotten that cultural nuance bit. I
Yes.
think that's so important. And often when I work with people, so if I get a new client, I'll say, understand I'm South African, which means I'm straightforward. I don't do
Mm.
the quiet eye rolling thing. I'm going to say it like it is. So you're going to have to be a little bit thick-skinned to work with me. And I'm going to
Yeah.
expect it back. If you just get an eye
Yeah.
roll, I'm not going to be able to know what you're saying. Like you're going to
Yeah.
have to tell me. And that's sort of the deal breaker. If you can handle that, then working with me is going to work really well. If it's not for you, great. Let's shake hands and be friends because
Yeah.
this is part of my culture. This is part of who I am.
Yeah.
I
And
say it like
and
it is.
I I struggle to talk about culture because obviously we're generalizing millions and millions of people, but
Yes.
let's do it for the sake of it. So if I think about the Philippines, they're like lovely, dedicated, don't like conflict.
Yeah,
South Africans love, telling you where they're at with things. And so
absolutely.
when we hire the Filipino team, we hire the Filipino team that are, a little bit closer to where we're at in Australia or the UK. And with the South Africans, we have to hire South African team members that are a little bit softer, like on the
Yeah,
softer spectrum. And so, and even then there's a difference. And we do a lot because our clients now are hiring in the Philippines and South Africa, and those teams are interacting. So we do a lot supporting them to have their Filipino teams and the South African teams working well together as well. So that's been a really interesting thing because it's like there's elements of those cultures that are opposite in some ways, but there's also
absolutely.
elements that are in alignment as well.
No, absolutely. When an example, when I worked in corporate, I was implementing a voice analytics system in call centers across the world.
Mm.
And we had to tailor the system to the conversation. So I'd listen to the call center recording and then we'd translate and put the emotion in. But in Israel, shouting is good, right? So if
Oh,
you hear,
really?
yeah, so if you walk into a call center, we had a 900-seat call center in Tel Aviv.
Oh,
If you walk in, it's loud, okay? And the agents are even standing up. They get so passionate because that
wow.
kind of loud debate, the customers expect it, right? On price, you're actively negotiating and it's loud. Whereas if you saw that in a UK call center, you'd be freaked out. You'd be like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Escalate to a manager, someone's getting
Yeah.
fired. And so we had to tailor the system to go, because if it applied the same rules across everyone, it would have just been going chaos. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, no. Shouting good in Israel, it's okay. Loud voices, we want
Yeah.
that. Shouting bad in the UK, no, we don't want that. That must be calmer. So this cultural nuance is really, really fascinating.
Wow.
And I think as the world gets flatter, because that's what we are now, right? The
Yeah.
world's just getting flatter and more open.
Mm.
And it's just about spending a little bit of time talking to someone and just understanding where that is. And
Yes.
making sure, number one, there's understanding, because once you understand and know it, that's like the first battle won, right? But then in matching, that's a whole different angle. So I love that, Carmen. I do love that.
Yeah. And I I've completely lost my train of thought. But uh, in the early days, I remember when we first got our team, I said to my business partner, "Oh, I'm struggling with this person. This is my problem. I don't know what to say to them." And and my business partner, she just goes, "They're just another person, Carmen." Because I'm like, I don't know how to say to them this to them. They're in the Philippines, and like I was treating them like they were like scary aliens or something. And then when I'm like, actually, they are another person. Sure, there's bits for me to learn more about their culture. So I've got the context and understanding and some shorthands. But ultimately, it's a person to speak to.
Yeah.
And so over time, my internal team, I've got to know them even past the culture. I know that Jonathan loves getting words of affirmation, and in front of people, he loves it even more. Cherry, she hates it. She hates it if I compliment her in front of people. There's other ways to show her love. And so it's like over time we've gotten past the culture and into what's going to work for this person.
No, love that. Carmen, I think we could probably keep chatting about this wonderful topic for ages. Where can people get hold of you? How do they find you if they want to use
Yeah,
your
sure.
fabulous services? And you help
Yeah.
everyone, even in the UK, right?
Yeah, so we've got some UK clients. So yeah, people can find us at globalteams.com.au. We've got a whole heap of free resources on there for people to check out. Yeah, and I'm always up to connecting with people on LinkedIn as well. So Carmen Williams.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've really loved chatting to you.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Erica.
And any last words of wisdom before we wrap up?
I guess the question is, how much do you want it? So with delegation and especially with a team member in another country, there can be challenges. But for me, there was no other option apart from making it work because I knew that I didn't want to be doing the doing day in and day out. I wanted to be chasing bright and shiny things. So, and growing. So for me, just consider, is there any other option?
Love that. Love that. Well, thank you again, Carmen. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I will definitely continue stalking you on LinkedIn.
Same to you, Erica.
Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Giraffes Don't Eat Steak, where curious marketers zig when others zag. If you enjoyed the episode, share it with someone who loves great marketing conversations. And don't forget to follow, review, or drop us a note. We love hearing from fellow curious minds, and if your own marketing's feeling a bit tangled, check out our Marketing Power Hour. It's a focused one-to-one session designed to help you get clarity and momentum. Just go to themarketingdetectives.com and book your slot. Until next time, keep zigging.